Hey everyone, Ethan here. You know, it seems that lost media appears to be all the rage on the internet these days, and I wouldn't lie if I admitted that I'm kind of in on this too. I mean, it is always fascinating to discover media that hasn't been seen by the public eye in a long time, or was known to exist but never was seen by the public eye. And that is why I want to get in on this too, by telling you about a bit of lost media that many of you probably didn't even know existed. Now, many of you know about Nickelodeon Studios, the place where shows like Family Double Dare, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Clarissa Explains It All were filmed. And some of you may even know about its opening day special, which, as of this recording date, only an hour and 10 minutes of the 3-hour live special are still missing. But there is another bit of lost Nickelodeon Studios media that many of you probably didn't even know existed at one time. And I, of course, am talking about the Nickelodeon Studios VRML game, or Nick Studios 3D for short. VRML stands for Virtual Reality Modeling Language. Basically, a typical VRML game would have looked something like this. So just imagine Nickelodeon Studios in that form. But basically, this was an officially licensed online game from Nickelodeon themselves, where you could virtually tour Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida, from the comfort of your own home. And some of you might be wondering, wait a minute, how come I knew nothing about this game? I don't remember ever seeing this on Nick.com. Well, this didn't really last very long on Nick.com, and I will get into why as soon as I explain how this game came to be. So, when Nickelodeon Online launched in 1995, Nickelodeon wanted to take advantage of this new medium as much as they could. So Nickelodeon and many other companies at the time were testing out this virtual reality technology where one could, virtually tour a place, without having to go to said place. And Nickelodeon did just that with Nickelodeon Studios. So in June of 1997, Nickelodeon launched the Nickelodeon Studios 3D game. So, here is how the game worked. And I am only utilizing the information that I could find off of the old Usenet forums. Basically, you started out outside of the studio, which from there you could get a live view of the slime geyser via the geyser cam, and you'd head on into the building where you could go into the Gak kitchen where the Gakmeister will spill some slimy secrets about making the world famous Gak. Then you could check out the hair and makeup room where stars are getting ready to go on stage, and you may have to help Stick Stickily get ready for his next performance. And you could also take a look inside the Nickelodeon time capsule and see some of the items that were buried in there. And once you head out of the studio, you can send your friends a little virtual postcard showing them that you toured Nick Studios 3D. So yeah, this seemed like a very good idea to, give kids the opportunity who couldn't afford to travel to Orlando, Florida to visit the television studio to do it from their own homes. So why didn't this game last very long on Nick.com? Well, the game ran into a number of problems. You have to understand, the internet was still in its infancy, and, they were still trying to figure out, how to work it properly, and clearly, VRML technology was not quite working out well for them at the time. In fact, Alex Meghan, the vice president for production for Nickelodeon Online, said at the time in an article to the Wall Street Journal, "A bad experience with a complicated and confusing virtual online tour of Nickelodeon Studios in Florida has soured him on the technology until the kinks are worked out. We had focus groups about our websites, and we got feedback saying we couldn't quite figure out how to get in. So yeah, as you can imagine, the problem with this game was that it took too long to load, and many who tried to play it were left unsatisfied. So eventually Nickelodeon just pulled the game from their site, and it was never seen or heard from again. So the question now is, how does one go about retrieving lost online media? I mean, it's one thing to find lost physical media, but it's a whole different challenge in and of itself to find lost digital media. I mean, where would one even store an online game from the late 90s? I mean, is it on some expensive floppy disk that probably isn't readable on any modern computer nowadays? I mean, if you lost media, people want to go out and find this thing. I mean, more power to you. But I don't know what leads you're gonna get. I mean, even if you do find it somehow, how are you gonna get it out to the masses? I mean, Flash is virtually dead at this point. All the old Nick.com Flash games are pretty much gone at this point. I'd do anything to play SpongeBob Flip or Flop one more time. So, yeah. I mean, at the very least, we could at least try to find some people who are lucky enough to play the game when it was on Nick.com. I mean, through the information I was able to gather, the game appeared on Nick's website as early as June of 1997 and was on there until around March of 1998. So, think of how many people during that brief 9-month period were able to go through Nick.com's website and try to play the game. In fact, I did find one testimonial of someone who did play the game at the time when it was still on Nick's website. And this I found through the old Usenet forums, and this post dates to January of 1998, and he writes, quote, "But one site, the Nick Studios 3D site, could warrant your attention if you have the patience. Go to www.nick.com/gam/nsf. I tried the link on archive.org, it doesn't work. And grab yourself a cup of coffee, because this is gonna take a while. It's a good example of VRML if you're a prospective web page designer, but be prepared to wait." So, yeah. That's the story of that. I mean, like I said, if you guys want to go out and find this, be my guest, but I just want to make this video just to let you all know that this was something that existed, and you should all be more aware of it. So, yeah. Alright, so, like I said, anybody out there who was lucky enough to be able to play the game when it was still on Nick's website, feel free to comment below and tell me about your experiences if you at all have any memory of it. Alright? So yeah, that's all I gotta say. And yeah, I'll see you around. Bye!